The cream-colored envelope sat on my kitchen counter like a ticking bomb. I'd been staring at it for 20 minutes, my coffee going cold beside it. The raised gold lettering caught the morning light. "You're invited." No return address, just my name in perfect calligraphy. I already knew who it was from. Only Vera would send something this unnecessarily fancy. "My name is Joanna, and 2 years ago, my boyfriend of 5 years disappeared without a trace. Now, my younger sister was getting married, and something in my gut told me these two facts were connected." My phone buzzed. Malia's face popped up on the screen. "Tell me you got one too," I said, answering. "Girl, I did, but mine actually has the groom's name on it. Yours doesn't?" My stomach dropped. "No, just says Vera's engagement celebration in that ridiculous cursive she loves." "Joe," Malia's voice softened. "Maybe you shouldn't go." I traced the envelope's edge with my finger. "You know what's funny? For 2 years, I've imagined running into Drew somewhere. Practiced what I'd say, how I'd act. But now what? Now, I just want answers." The memory of that last morning with Drew hit me like a punch to the gut. His kiss goodbye, the "see you tonight" that never happened. His clothes still hanging in my closet when I got home. His toothbrush still wet in its holder. Then nothing. No calls, no texts. Just rumors about him being seen with someone else. Someone who looked suspiciously like my sister. "You should come with me," I said to Malia. "Be my buffer." Already planning my outfit. Thinking all black, like we're going to the funeral of your last fuck to give. I laughed despite myself. "You're terrible." "I'm right though. If you're going to walk into the lion's den, might as well look fierce doing it." I got up and walked to my home office, where my desk drawer held a manila envelope I'd been saving for a special occasion. Inside was enough ammunition to burn several lives to the ground, including my perfect sister's. "What if I told you," I said slowly, "that I have something that could make this engagement party very interesting?" "Joe," Malia's tone turned serious. "What did you find? Remember Drew's secretary, Michaela? Sweet girl, always looked nervous around Vera when she'd stop by the office?" "Yeah. Well, turns out she had a baby last year. Cute little thing. Has Drew's eyes." The silence on the other end lasted 3 full seconds. "Holy shit," Malia whispered. "You have proof?" "Paternity test and everything. Been sitting on it for months, waiting for the right moment." "And you think your sister's engagement party is that moment?" I looked at the invitation again, at its perfect golden letters and cream paper. Vera always did have expensive taste, in everything, including other people's boyfriends. "They want a celebration?" I smiled, feeling something dark and satisfying unfurl in my chest. "I'll give them one they'll never forget." "You're scary when you're plotting," Malia said, but I could hear the smile in her voice. "Need help wrapping this nuclear bomb of a gift?" "Actually, yes. Can you come over? I want to make sure it's perfect." "On my way. And Joe?" "Yeah? Whatever happens, I've got your back." I hung up and picked up the invitation again. 2 years of questions, of sleepless nights wondering what I'd done wrong, of watching Vera's Instagram posts get more and more suspicious. 2 years of our mother's subtle digs about how I should be happy for my sister's success. Time to show them all exactly what the invisible sister was capable of. I opened my laptop and started typing an email to Michaela. "Dear Michaela, I know this is unexpected, but I have a favor to ask. There's an engagement party this Saturday." The reply came within minutes. "I'll be there. It's time everyone knew the truth." I closed my eyes and took a deep breath. The party was in 3 days. Just enough time to wrap my gift perfectly. Sometimes the best revenge isn't served cold, it's served with a silver bow on top. The Grand Plaza Hotel's ballroom sparkled like a diamond-encrusted trap. I adjusted my black dress. Malia's suggestion had been perfect, and tried to blend into the crowd of champagne-sipping socialites. The gift-wrapped silver box in my clutch felt heavy with promise. "Champagne, miss?" A waiter appeared at my elbow. "God, yes." I grabbed a flute, nearly emptying it in one gulp. That's when I saw him. Drew was standing by the bar, looking exactly the same as he had 2 years ago. Same perfect hair, same confident stance, same expensive watch I'd helped him pick out for his 30th birthday. My hands started shaking. "Breathe," Malia whispered beside me. "You've got this." "He hasn't aged a day," I muttered. Guess betrayal is good for the complexion. A microphone squealed, and my mother's voice filled the room. "Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our beautiful bride-to-be, Vera." The crowd parted like the Red Sea as my sister glided in, wearing a white dress that probably cost more than my car. She was radiant, of course. Vera had never known how to be anything else. "And now," my mother continued, her voice dripping with pride, "please welcome her wonderful fiancé." I gripped Malia's arm so hard she winced. "Drew Carter!" The room erupted in applause. I stood frozen as Drew walked to the center of the room, taking Vera's hand. They looked perfect together, like a wedding cake topper come to life. "Tell us how you met," someone shouted. Vera laughed, that tinkling sound that always made me want to scream. "Oh, we've known each other forever, haven't we, darling?" Drew grabbed the microphone, smiling. "Actually, it's quite a story. We've been together for years, keeping it quiet. Sometimes the best things in life happen when you least expect them." Years. The word echoed in my head like a gunshot. That's when Evelyn, Drew's mother, snatched the microphone. "Oh, didn't you know?" She looked directly at me, her smile sharp as a knife. "They've been together for years, even when, well, certain other arrangements were in place." The room tittered with knowing laughter. My face burned. "A toast!" Vera called out, raising her glass. "To finding true love!" Drew pulled her close, kissing her deeply as cameras flashed. The crowd whooped and cheered. "Now," Malia whispered. I reached into my clutch, fingers wrapping around the silver box. "Now." "Wait," I called out, my voice carrying across the room. "I have a gift for the happy couple." Vera's smile faltered for just a second. "Joe, you didn't have to." "Oh, but I did." I walked forward, my heels clicking against the marble floor. After all, what kind of sister would I be if I didn't celebrate this beautiful union? I handed the box to Drew, making sure our fingers brushed. He flinched. "Open it," I said sweetly. "I insist." Drew's hands shook slightly as he undid the ribbon. Vera leaned in, eager as always to be the center of attention. The lid came off. Inside, nestled in silver tissue paper, was a framed photograph. Drew's face went white. "What is it?" Vera grabbed the frame. "I don't understand. Whose baby is... Oh, you don't recognize her?" I turned to the crowd. "Maybe Michaela can help explain." "Michaela?" A small figure emerged from the back of the room. Drew's secretary walked forward, holding a squirming toddler with Drew's exact eyes. "No," Drew breathed. I pulled out the paternity test results, holding them up. "Don't worry, I brought documentation. I know how much your mother loves proof, Evelyn." The room erupted in chaos. Vera's champagne glass shattered on the floor. My mother rushed forward, trying to damage control. But it was too late. "You bitch!" Vera's hand cracked across my face, but I barely felt it. The look in her eyes was worth every stinging second. "Funny," I said, loud enough for everyone to hear. "That's exactly what Drew used to call you behind your back." As security started moving through the crowd, I caught Malia's eye and nodded. Time to make our exit. And that, I announced to the room, was just the beginning. The next few minutes unfolded like a slow-motion car crash. Evelyn lunged for the paternity test papers, but Malia was faster, already recording everything on her phone. Drew stood frozen, his perfect mask finally cracking. "This is ridiculous," Evelyn announced, her voice shrill. "Obviously a fake. Drew would never—" "Never what?" Michaela stepped forward, bouncing her daughter on her hip. "Never sleep with his secretary? Never promise to leave his girlfriend? Never say he'd help with the baby's expenses if I just kept quiet?" The little girl reached toward Drew, gurgling, "Dada." The room went dead silent. "I have the texts," Michaela continued, her voice stronger now. "The emails, the video of you, Drew, promising to handle everything once you got that promotion. Well, congratulations on the promotion. How's that handling going?" Vera grabbed Drew's arm. "Tell me this isn't true. Tell me she's lying." "Vera, baby, I can explain—" "Explain what?" I cut in. "How you were sleeping with Michaela while dating me, then dumped me to be with my sister, all while having a secret baby. Please, explain. We're all dying to hear it." My mother appeared beside me, gripping my elbow. "Joanna, that's enough. You're making a scene." "A scene?" I laughed. "No, Mother, this isn't a scene. This is the truth. For once in this family, we're going to deal with the truth." "You vindictive little—" Evelyn started, but Drew cut her off. "Stop," his voice cracked. "Just stop. It's true. All of it." The admission hit Vera like a physical blow. She stumbled backward, her perfect white dress catching on a chair. "How long?" she demanded. "How long have you known about the baby?" Drew wouldn't meet her eyes. "Since before us." "Before us?" Vera's voice rose to a shriek. "You mean when you were with my sister?" "Actually," Michaela spoke up again, "he was with both of you. And me. For about 6 months." Someone in the crowd whispered, "Oh my God." Camera phones clicked frantically. "Security!" my mother called out. "Remove these people immediately." "Too late," Malia announced, holding up her phone. "Already streaming live on Instagram. 3,000 viewers and counting." Vera lunged at Drew, her manicured nails raking across his face. "You bastard! You told me Joanna meant nothing to you, and you believed him?" I stepped closer. "Just like you believed him when he said he'd never cheat on you? Karma's funny that way, isn't it, sis?" "You planned this," Vera spun toward me. "You orchestrated this whole thing just to humiliate me." "No, Vera. You did this to yourself. You and Drew and Mother. You all did this. I just made sure everyone could see the truth." "The truth?" My mother's voice cut through the chaos. "You want to talk about truth, Joanna? How about we discuss—" "Not now, Mother." I held up my hand. "Your secrets are for another day." The security guards finally reached us, but the damage was done. Drew's perfect life was unraveling in real time, broadcast live to the social circle he'd worked so hard to impress. Vera's mascara ran in black rivers down her cheeks. Evelyn looked like she might faint. "Miss," one of the guards touched my arm. "You need to leave." "Of course." I smiled, gathering my clutch. I got what I came for. As Malia and I walked toward the exit, Michaela fell into step beside us, her daughter still babbling happily. "Thank you," she whispered. "I've been trying to get him to acknowledge her for months." "Don't thank me yet," I replied. "This is just the beginning." Behind us, I could hear Vera's sobs, Drew's attempts at damage control, and my mother's increasingly desperate orders to turn off those phones immediately. At the door, I turned back one last time. "Oh, and Vera? You might want to check your private messages. Keith, you remember Keith, your ex? He had some very interesting things to say about why you really went after Drew." The look of pure panic on her face told me everything I needed to know. "Come on." Malia tugged my arm. "Let's get out of here before they call the actual police." We stepped into the cool night air, leaving behind the sound of shattering glass, probably another of Vera's champagne flutes meeting its end. That, I said, finally letting out a breath, was just Act 1. The banging on my apartment door started at 3 a.m. I knew it was Vera before I even checked the peephole. Only she would wear stilettos to a confrontation in the middle of the night. "Open this fucking door, Joanna." I took my time, adjusting my robe. When I finally opened up, Vera stumbled in, still in her white dress, now stained with what looked like red wine. "Having a rough night?" I asked. She whirled on me, mascara streaked across her face. "You evil, spiteful bitch! You ruined everything!" "I ruined everything?" I leaned against the wall. "That's rich, coming from the woman who slept with my boyfriend. He wasn't just your boyfriend." She grabbed a framed photo from my shelf and hurled it against the wall. "He was my chance, my one chance to fix everything." "Fix what exactly?" "You don't understand. You never understood what it's like being mother's favorite." She laughed hysterically. The pressure, the expectations, always having to be perfect. Oh, poor you. It must have been so hard being the golden child. You think I wanted that? To always be compared to you? Why can't you be sensible like Joanna? Why can't you be responsible like your sister? She mimicked our mother's voice perfectly. And then you got Drew. Perfect, successful Drew. Mother was so impressed. The pieces started falling into place. So you took him from me to impress Mother? She knew. Vera collapsed onto my couch. She knew about us the whole time. She encouraged it. Said Drew needed someone more. Ambitious. Someone who could help his career. My blood ran cold. Mother knew? She arranged everything. The accidental meetings, the charity galas, where I'd conveniently be seated next to him. She even... Vera hesitated. She even what? She told Drew about your anxiety medication. Said you weren't stable enough for someone like him. The room started spinning. I gripped the wall for support. When? 6 months before he left you. Right after he bought the ring. What ring? Vera's face went pale. Nothing. I shouldn't have... What? Ring. He was going to propose. The words tumbled out. Mother found the ring in his coat at dinner one night. She convinced him you weren't ready for marriage, that you'd hold him back. I felt like I might throw up. And you went along with it. My own sister. I didn't have a choice. After the DUI, after Keith threatened to expose everything about the accident, Mother said helping her with Drew was the only way to make things right. The accident. My head was spinning. What accident? Vera's eyes went wide. You don't know? Mother never told you. Told me what? Last year, when I was with Keith, we were drinking. I was driving. There was a kid on a bike. She started sobbing. Mother paid the family to keep quiet. Used your college fund to do it. I sank into a chair, my legs giving out. My college fund? The one she said was lost in bad investments? She used it to pay them off, then used the rest for my rehab and plastic surgery to fix... She gestured to a faint scar near her hairline. Keith threatened to tell everyone if I didn't pay him too. That's why I needed Drew. His money. His connections. Get out! My voice was barely a whisper. Joe, please. Get out! I screamed, hurling a throw pillow at her. Get out before I call the police and tell them everything about your accident. She scrambled to her feet, stumbling toward the door. You wouldn't. Mother would never forgive... Mother? I laughed darkly. Oh, don't worry about Mother. She's next. Vera froze with her hand on the doorknob. What are you going to do? I walked to my desk, pulled out another manila envelope. Remember Mother's old social club? The one she's president of? Turns out their accountant keeps very detailed records. Records that show exactly where my college fund really went. Joanna, please. You'll destroy her. I opened the door, practically pushing her out. You both destroyed me first. Now it's my turn. The door slammed behind her. I could hear her heels clicking down the hallway, then silence. I picked up my phone and dialed Malia's number. Hey, remember when you said that was just Act 1? Well, I think it's time for Act 2. What did you find out? Everything. I opened my laptop. And Mother's not going to like what happens next. The country club's private dining room smelled like old money and secrets. My mother sat across from me, perfectly poised as always, stirring her tea with practiced precision. I assume this little meeting is about your performance at the engagement party, she said, not looking up. I placed the manila envelope on the table. Actually, it's about my college fund. The spoon clinked against her cup. I've already explained. Save it. I pulled out the documents. I know about Vera's accident, the payoff, the rehab, all of it. Her face remained impassive, but her knuckles went white around the teacup. Who told you? Does it matter? What matters is that you used my future to cover up her crimes. I protected this family, she hissed, leaning forward. Something you clearly know nothing about. Protect the family? I laughed. You mean protect Vera? Like when you encouraged her to go after Drew? He needed someone stronger. You were too... She waved her hand dismissively. Fragile. Fragile? I pulled out my phone, played the recording of Vera's confession from last night. My mother's face went ash gray. You recorded her? I record everything now. Trust issues, you know? Speaking of trust. I slid another document across the table. The social club's financial records make for interesting reading. She snatched the paper, her eyes scanning quickly. Where did you get this? Remember Margaret, your treasurer? Turns out she's been keeping very detailed records of where all that charity money really went, including the funds that mysteriously disappeared the same day Vera's medical bills were paid. You wouldn't dare. What? Expose how you've been embezzling from your own charity? How you used donor money to pay off Vera's victim's family? Or maybe how you orchestrated my breakup with Drew because he wasn't ambitious enough yet? I did what was best for this family. She slammed her hand on the table. You were going to marry beneath us. Vera needed saving. What choice did I have? Choice? My voice cracked. You had every choice. You chose to betray me. You chose to encourage Vera's worst instincts. You chose to cover up a hit and run instead of making her face consequences. Lower your voice, she snapped, glancing around nervously. Why? Afraid someone might hear the truth? That the great Raquel might not be as perfect as she pretends? Her hand flew out, catching me across the face. The slap echoed in the quiet room. I touched my cheek, smiling. Thank you for that. It'll make a great addition to my story. What story? The one I'm publishing, about growing up with a mother who'd sacrifice one daughter to save another, about family secrets and cover-ups and stolen futures. I stood up. I'm thinking of calling it The Perfect Daughter. Has a nice ring to it, don't you think? You can't, she whispered, and for the first time in my life I saw fear in her eyes. The scandal, the social club, my reputation, your reputation. Tears burned in my eyes. What about my life, my future, the one you stole to clean up Vera's mess? I'll pay you back, she said quickly. Double the amount, triple, just don't. It was never about the money. I gathered my documents. It was about you choosing her, every single time. She grabbed my arm. Please, Joanna, I'm your mother. No, I pulled away. You're Vera's mother. I was just your backup plan. Tears streaked her perfect makeup. What do you want from me? I want you to feel what I felt, to know what it's like to lose everything you built your life around. I headed for the door. The story goes live tomorrow. I'd start packing up your office here. Something tells me the social club won't want a thief as their president. Joanna, wait. Goodbye, Mother. Give Vera my love. You'll both need it soon enough. As I walked out, I heard something I'd never heard before. My mother crying. Not her usual calculated tears, but real broken sobs. I didn't look back. Some things, once broken, can never be fixed. And some people deserve to stay broken. The story broke like a tsunami. By noon, my phone was exploding with notifications. Local news picked it up first, then national outlets. Socialite family's dark secrets exposed ran across every headline. Malia burst into my apartment, waving her phone. Have you seen the numbers? Your blog post has over 1 million views. I was curled up on my couch, watching the chaos unfold on social media. Drew's company put him on administrative leave. Something about reviewing his position after the scandal. Good. Malia flopped down beside me. What about Vera? My phone buzzed with a text. Speaking of, Keith just messaged me. Says Vera's been calling him non-stop, begging him not to talk to reporters. Too late for that. Malia turned up the TV volume. A familiar face filled the screen. Keith, Vera's ex, standing outside his gym. Yeah, she only went after Drew because she was jealous of Joanna, he was saying. She told me herself, said she couldn't stand that her sister found love first. The accident just gave her mother more leverage to make it happen. I muted the TV. Think that's enough karma for one day? Girl, karma's just getting started. Look at this. Malia showed me her phone. The social club had posted an official statement distancing themselves from my mother, pending a financial investigation. Another text buzzed through, from Michaela. Drew's lawyers called. They're offering child support and full acknowledgement. Thank you. At least something good came from this mess, I muttered. Suddenly my laptop pinged. A new email from a publishing house in New York. Holy shit, Malia breathed, reading over my shoulder. They want to turn your blog into a book? Apparently, family drama sells. I closed the laptop. I don't know if I can write it all out again. You already did the hard part. Now you just... My phone rang. Unknown number. Hello? Is this Joanna? A man's voice. This is Marcus from the morning show. We'd love to have you on to discuss your story. Before I could answer, another call beeped in, and another. Turn off your phone, Malia advised. They'll be circling like vultures now. I looked out my window. 2 news vans were already parked outside. Maybe this was too much, I whispered. Maybe I went too far. Too far? Malia grabbed my shoulders. They went too far. Years ago. You just finally stood up for yourself. My phone buzzed again. A text from Vera. Mother's in the hospital. Anxiety attack. I hope you're happy. Don't, Malia warned, seeing my face. Don't you dare feel guilty. I'm not guilty. I searched for the word. Tired. So fucking tired. Another ping. An email from Drew. We need to talk, please. There's more you should know. Delete it, Malia said firmly. Whatever he has to say, it's too late. I stared at the email, cursor hovering over delete. What if there is more? What if this isn't over? It's over when you say it's over. Malia took my phone. But right now, you need to decide. Are you going to let this destroy you, or are you going to use it? Use it how? She pointed to the publishing house email. Write the book. Tell your story. Help other people who've been silenced by their families. Outside, more news vans were arriving. My phone kept buzzing with messages from unknown numbers. Somewhere in the city, my mother was in a hospital bed. My sister was hiding from reporters, and Drew was watching his career implode. You know what the worst part is? I said quietly. part of me still loves them, even after everything. That's what makes you different from them, Malia replied. You can still feel something besides revenge. I opened my laptop again, created a new document. The cursor blinked at me, waiting. Okay, I said finally. Let's write this story. All of it. Malia squeezed my hand. Where do you want to start? I typed the first line. The thing about perfect families is that they're usually hiding the biggest imperfections. The words started flowing, and this time, I wasn't writing for revenge. I was writing for freedom. And maybe, just maybe, for healing. Happy birthday to you! My friends sang around the small table at Mario's, my favorite Italian restaurant. Just a quiet dinner, exactly what I needed after the chaos of the past few weeks. Then, the door burst open. Well, if it isn't the famous author! Vera's voice cut through the celebration. She stumbled slightly, clutching an empty wine glass. Having fun destroying everyone's lives? Malia stood up. You need to leave. No, let her stay. I waved Malia down. I'm sure she has something fascinating to say. Vera laughed bitterly. Oh, I do. Want to know what your little exposé did? Mothers in rehab, anxiety medication overdose. Drew's firm fired him. And me? She spread her arms wide. I'm officially unemployable. No one wants to hire the drunk who ran over a kid. You did that to yourself, I said quietly. All of it. Did I? She grabbed a chair, dragging it to our table. Or did perfect little Joanna just need everyone to know she was the real victim? Vera, you're drunk. Go home. Home? She laughed again. What home? Mother's house is being investigated by the IRS. My apartment's lease wasn't renewed because of negative publicity. Even Keith won't answer my calls anymore. I'm sorry you're hurting, I said, meaning it. But, sorry? She slammed her glass down. You're not sorry. You're loving this. Finally got your revenge on the pretty sister who stole your man. Is that what you think this was about? Wasn't it? Poor Joanna, always second best, always in my shadow. You want to know what it was really about? I stood up, facing her. It was about the ring. She went pale. What? Drew's assistant told me everything. How he bought the ring 6 years ago. How you found out and told him I was cheating. How you showed him fake texts from a burner phone to prove it. I didn't. You did. You couldn't stand that he chose me first. That's why you went after him. Not because you loved him, because you needed to win. That's not. Then Mother found out about the accident with Keith. Suddenly you needed Drew's money, his connections. So she helped you trap him. Used my anxiety as an excuse. Convinced him I was unstable. Vera sank into the chair. You don't understand. After the accident, I needed help. And I would have helped you. My voice cracked. I'm your sister. If you'd just told me the truth. The truth? She looked up, mascara running. The truth is, I was jealous. Of everything. Your confidence, your career, the way Drew looked at you like you were his whole world. So you destroyed it all. I destroyed myself too. She pulled out her phone, showed me her banking app. Overdrawn. Everything's gone. The modeling contracts, the influencer deals. No one wants to work with me now. What do you want from me, Vera? I don't know. She started crying. To apologize? To beg forgiveness? To tell you that you won? This wasn't about winning. Then what was it about? I sat back down, suddenly exhausted. It was about truth, all of it, the ugly, messy truth we've been hiding our whole lives. And now what? She wiped her eyes. Now that everyone knows how awful we all are? Now we stop pretending, stop competing, stop letting Mother pit us against each other. It's too late. Maybe, I reached for my purse, pulled out a business card. Or maybe not. This is my therapist's number. She's good with family trauma. Vera stared at the card. Why would you help me? After everything? Because you're still my sister. And maybe we both need to heal. She took the card, hands shaking. I really am sorry, Joe. For everything. I know. I gestured to the door. Now go home. Get sober. Call that number. She stood up, steadier now. Happy birthday, sis. After she left, Malia squeezed my hand. You okay? I looked at my half-eaten birthday cake, at my friends' concerned faces, at the life I'd built despite everything. Yeah, I said. I think I finally am. The autumn breeze carried the scent of coffee from the cafe across the street as I sat on my balcony, laptop open to the final chapter of my book. The cursor blinked, waiting for an ending I wasn't sure how to write. My phone buzzed. A text from Michaela. Look who started walking. Attached was a video of her daughter taking wobbly steps, Drew visible in the background, actually being a father. Good for them, I muttered, then jumped at a knock on my balcony door. Malia stood there with 2 steaming cups. Thought you might need reinforcements. Still stuck on the ending? How do you end a story that isn't really over? She handed me a cup. Maybe that's your ending. That life goes on, messy and imperfect. My phone buzzed again. Mother's number. I'd been ignoring her calls since she left rehab. You should answer it, Malia said softly. I took a deep breath and picked up. Hello? Joanna. Her voice was different, quieter, less polished. I read your manuscript. My heart stopped. I'd sent it to her last week, not expecting a response. And? My voice cracked. It's honest, painfully so. She paused. I didn't realize. I never saw how much damage I was doing. That's because you never looked. I'm looking now. Another pause. Vera's doing better. The therapy, it's helping both of us. Good. She told me about the ring, about what she did to you and Drew. Her voice broke. I'm so sorry, Joanna. For everything. I watched a leaf spiral down from the tree outside. Sorry doesn't fix it. No, it doesn't. But maybe this will help. She took a shaky breath. I'm selling the house. The social club already took their share for restitution, but what's left? It's yours. For college, or whatever you want. I don't want your money. I know, but I want you to have it. It's not redemption, just a start. Malia squeezed my hand, nodding encouragingly. Thank you, I said finally. But I already have what I need. After hanging up, I turned back to my laptop. The words finally came. The truth about revenge is that it doesn't heal you. It just shows you where the wounds are. The real healing comes after, in the quiet moments when you choose to let go of the pain, not because they deserve forgiveness, but because you deserve peace. My phone buzzed one last time. An email from my publisher. Final manuscript due tomorrow? How's the ending coming? I looked at Malia, still sitting patiently beside me. At Michaela's video, paused on a baby's first steps. At Mother's text, trying so hard to make amends. At the therapy card on my desk, its edges worn from being handled. My fingers found the keys. Some people say family is everything, but they're wrong. The truth is, family is what you make it. Sometimes it's the sister who betrayed you, trying to find her way back. Sometimes it's the mother who failed you, finally learning to see you. Sometimes it's the best friend who never left, the unexpected allies who stood by you, the strength you found when everything fell apart. I used to think my story was about revenge. Now I know it's about resurrection, about burning everything down and building something true from the ashes, about choosing who you want to be when the smoke finally clears. I chose to be free, free from perfect images and family lies, free from competing for love that should have been unconditional, free to write my own story, even when the ending isn't neat and tidy. Because the best stories aren't about perfect endings, they're about perfect moments of truth. I hit save, closed my laptop and stood up. Done? Malia asked. Done. We looked out over the city, my city, where somewhere my sister was healing, my mother was learning, and my past was finally becoming just that. The past. So what now? Malia smiled. I picked up my coffee cup, raised it in a toast. Now we live, messy, real, and true. The sun broke through the clouds, warming my face. For the first time in years, I felt light, free, ready for whatever came next. This wasn't an ending. It was a beginning, and this time, I was writing it for myself.